Yeah. Well, anyways, apparently I was so mean to the callers last night. Man, I thought that was my nicest that I've ever been. I allowed this, you know, anything that they wanted to say. It was amazing. I was so proud of myself. But then I woke up and there was a big long post, and then all these people were jumping on the bandwagon. Probably all the greeno idiots who show up trolling because they're so embarrassed that they ever supported somebody who spit blood in the cop's face and threatened to kill all those same cops and their family. You know, maybe that's who it is. Just not sure at this point. Very likely, though. Yeah. But listen, I want everybody on the channel should feel safe to say whatever the hell you want to, your opinion is on cases. People just might go, oh, that's bullshit, you know? Don't worry about
crap, it's Hughes Gray.
Just don't worry about that part of it. So don't feel like, oh, I just feel like I can't say anything. Listen, not all ideas are good ideas, okay? And so instead of just verbally, you know, like a lot of people, what they do is they say every single thing that their mind's thinking, right? They'll sit around and go, oh, wow. I wonder if that dog, why, you know, was looking that other dog, you know, I don't even want to say it, but you could say whatever, you know, but people just type it in. You know, when you're doing like true crime shit, like literally have a well thought out, you know, something that you think through a little bit. Okay, so if you do throw one of those out, you might get, there might be some jokes or whatever, but nobody dislikes you because of it. Okay, so don't feel hurt about it. That's just kind of the way it goes here. You can say whatever the hell you want. You know, if you cut down the channel or something, you probably won't last too long. I'm just being honest with you. But if you come in here and you know, make your comments, hey, do you think the bridge guy, he may have used a hang glider and flew down and landed on the bridge, and then there was a friend that grabbed the actual kite below him to, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is, you know, when you throw something out like that, you probably get a weird response back. But I'm not going to be able to change my show for you if you're one of the people that gets butt hurt by every single thing like that. What I suggest is when you're watching the show, just go, oh, wow, I'm really butt hurt, even though I really like it, what Gray does. This is what some people type in. Man, you have such good content. You really cover stuff good, but I just don't like your attitude. Well, then why did you ever watch it? I mean, it's amazing that you got through and watched some of those episodes, and then now you're bitching about it. How about this? Just watch somebody else. Okay, there's a lot of people who do this. I'm just doing it the way I do it. And, you know, if you don't like it, it sucks. You know, I put out a questionnaire to my Megazoids today about it because I didn't feel like I was, I didn't think I was bullying or mean or anything to any of the callers last night. The one of them, I did whistle a couple of times. I went, hello, 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 because they kept talking when I was trying to talk. The whole time. Hey, thanks, Billy Boy Blue. Holy crap, it's Hughes Gray. And Daniel Gosen.
3 years ongoing member, you're the best, Gray. Love ya. Stay safe, you and the family and all of the freaks, baby.
All right. Hey, check it out. If you guys are... I know a lot of you are channel members, and I also know what's going on out there. I mean, if you feel like you can't afford to be a Patreon or channel member or whatever, I mean, don't, you know, I won't feel bad if you cancel or go out of it. You know, just sign back up again when everything gets better, okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm serious. It's like, man, I mean, there might be a time where, like, if you're doing $10, that might mean something. You like the whistle? Yeah, yeah. I let a lot of people. I don't know. I just felt like I was pretty normal, you know. It's just weird to wake up to such hostility.
Nothing but love for Hughes here.
Awesome. Yeah, what's going on, Shogun? You're never here. You keep missing the show.
I personally love that hello, hello whistle.
Yeah, it's like, hello, hello, hello. Maybe I need a sound effect instead, you know. And you know what the sound effect would be? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I've looked into that. Here's the thing. You know, you look into the what was that stuff from yesterday? Hey, thanks Billy Boy Blue again and Kristen Cure. Hey, freaks, just wanted to say sorry for not being around. Working at a nursing home with the outbreaks ain't no fun. Well, good, Billy Boy Blue. I need people like you. Oh, thanks, Mandy. That's cool.
Best $10 I can spend.
That's very kind of you guys. But I'm being I'm telling you, like, if it's something that you know you need to stop doing for a while throughout this crisis or whatever, I won't be offended.
Hey freaks, just wanted to say sorry for not being around. Working at a nursing home with this outbreak ain't no fun. We're okay so far though.
Yeah. Thank you, Mandy W.
I would rather have no TP than stop being a patron rolling on the floor laughing.
No TP? Well, listen, I tell you what. I'd rather have you not be a patron and buy toilet paper. Just mentally, I'm having a hard time picturing that. Yes, everybody. At least she's sending me the Patreon funds. Other than that, I can't comment on... Yeah. Hey, it's Lanky Tor. Miss Incredible. I think I like that name better than the other one that's like that. Wow, you guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're building up. We got another probably 13 days till we do our donation.
Love you, Gray. You make my days better. Smiling face with smiling eyes, red heart.
Yeah. Wow, you guys are amazing. Yeah, I heard that yeah, I think that was a while ago when the president had
Everyone please take care of our elderly and vulnerable.
Wow, guys. Jeez. Thank you. A bidet, yeah. I actually like those. I mean, the concept of them. I've never actually used one. But.
Is this a donation wave? Where's Kit Kat winking face?
Yeah, it almost seemed like it, didn't it? It's so weird not having...
FREAKAZOIDS.
It's so weird not having
Hope everyone
sports.
is doing well in all this craziness. Love you, Gray.
Thanks, Sherlock Hemlock. Yeah, I think... You know, just stay at home, everybody. If you don't need to be out, do not go out. And that's what I was trying to say a while ago. See, when I first brought up that I bet you CrimeCon might be canceled, 2 or 3 weeks ago, or whatever that was, or 2 weeks ago, people were like, what are you talking about? You know, this is a big deal, this thing. And really what it is it's all these measures are being taken out.
Keep it going.
All these people, all the measures that they're taking right now are to protect the elderly people with that have conditions, like maybe their lungs are having problems, they have heart issues, things like that.
Kitch Cat is the best.
What happened? Was it like it's not even my birthday today, everybody? Yep. Who doesn't
Love
like
to
Kit
all
Kat?
from down under. Heart.
All right. Down under, Wombat Dundee. Last night was cleaning stall. Oh yeah.
Woo riding the donation wave. Love being a part of this freak family.
Yeah, it's amazing. Can't believe it.
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. We love ya, Gray.
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. That's funny. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Which one was that? Yeah. I don't even know, like, when this stops doing it. The sound. I don't want to interfere with the writings. Anyways, Alyssa, I really appreciate that, you guys.
Love you and freaks.
Yeah. The master of drones. Yeah, I don't even know who that is. Joan Milano. And that last one was that Shogun Love? No, that was Linda Hell. This is Shogun. Yeah, well, be careful cleaning out those stalls.
I was here last night, but cleaning stalls heart.
Yeah, and thank you, Joan Milano. Oh, and then Cairo, too. No way, I'm not buying a 6-pack of Corona. You can get the virus from drinking that. At least I read that on the internet.
Buy a 6-pack of Corona with this.
What'd they say? Raven, are you kidding me? Why did they mention me? Huh.
Love the wave.
Yeah, I watch Ken Heron all the time. He's hilarious. People are going to be so pissed at me, man, tomorrow when they get up and watch this. They're going to go, you didn't talk about the case. Oh my God, I had to... You know, they're going to get really angry that they had to wait a few
See how
minutes.
much we all love you.
Wow.
Best show this side of the Mississippi.
Love
Thank
before
you for all you do and your kindness. You are so mean. Gray smiling face with smiling eyes.
Yeah, look at that one part. The love before... Yeah. Oh, wait. God, I'm so lost on the screen. So that was Nicole Kyle. Yes, I am so mean. You're right.
Love before toilet paper freaks pile of poo.
Hey, you hear the way Streamlabs read that one? Love before toilet paper freaks pile of poo. Thanks, Billy Boy Blue. Hey, William, I'll have to wait a couple minutes, man. Sorry, bud. when you get up in the morning, make sure to type that on the video. You know.
You don't just talk about these cases. You actually do things to help. Thank you for all your effort.
Wow, what's going on? It really isn't my birthday, I swear to God. Thank you guys very much.
Me, Kyron and Gray gonna be sipping on some Coronas tomorrow.
I'm not even sure what order they're doing these. I'm lost. God, it's amazing.
Adding to the wave, thanks for all you do.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I just donate to, you know, different causes. So hopefully, you know, I'd like to be able to keep doing what we've been doing. You know, $500-700 a month. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Man, at the end of the year, we'd have done
Hello,
almost
freaks.
8.
Loved you all. Glowing star kiss mark beating heart.
Hey, so anyway, thanks. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to go through this.
Pushing back on the haters.
That was Patricia, Miss Skiss, Curious Georgia, Quietly Observing, Billy Boy Blue, Nicole Kyle, Tisha Renee, Cairo, Jessica Schubach, Joan Milano.
You have amazing subscribers.
Love, Linda
2
Howe,
hearts, 2 hearts, 2
Linus
hearts.
and Mel Ransom, Amy Higg up there, Kevin Brown, Jennifer Cochran Flint. Yeah, I hope they don't shut it down. Do you know something I don't know, Biker Beast? I could always make a new one. Of course, I'd have to start all over again. But we've done.
Thanks for every Gary Hughes avocado.
I think we've donated 700 twice. But this last month was the biggest. The 700 was the biggest, like.
Hope they don't shut
full
your
month,
channel
like an
down.
actual month. Yeah, we're at 1900 so far this year, and that's just. Well, I guess that would just be January and February, right? Because we haven't done March yet. So, wow, I don't know. It must have been more
Freaks
than
social
700.
distancing before it was cool.
That's right. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys very much. That was very kind. Amazing. Marion Ward and Biker Beast at the end there, and Chuck Sims and Raven. Hey, but Raven, what was the thing that you saw on that show? Ken Heron's show. He's a drone guy. What was that? Yeah, I know. I'm so mean. Yeah, I kind of want to know what that was. Like, it's so random that somebody would donate and bring my name up on a drone channel. Like, oh, really? Cool. Excellent. I wonder which freak was it? Thank you. Delusional lucidity. All right. Yeah, so what I was saying a minute ago about the... well, it's going to speak here in a second, though. Wow. Well, that's cool, freak. Whoever is the freak that went out there and got into drones. And oh, maybe that was Cairo. Because I know that he's watched him a couple times, and then he flies drones.
Gray and all, I prefer to answer to professional moo gotcha.
Yeah, I figured that was him. Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy. He has a pretty crazy show. Yeah, so what I was saying is everything that they're doing right now for the coronavirus, just to talk about it for a minute, is to protect older people. You know, people that are, or people with compromised immune systems, and they're in that risk zone. And the thing is all these young people, you know, that's what makes me a little bit nervous, is that we've seen lately kind of the sort of the selfish, sort of the, you know, millennial sort of, I can do whatever I want type of attitude. And those are the people that are going to catch this, not feel a damn thing, and spread it around. So it's up to you to keep, isolate yourselves, do exactly what they're saying. You know, don't get into large groups, do not go walking around, and just keep it, you know, that they make me nervous, to be honest with you, that age group, because they're really just, they're not concerned, they don't get it, they don't care. And so I'm hoping that people are getting through to them, because this is a big deal. You know, if 1 million people get it, and it's 3% death rate, well, that's 30,000 people. That's a shitload of people. And I think the numbers of people who have it right now are, as soon as they start doing testing, it's going to be ludicrous, the number of people who have it, because there isn't any testing, and they've been spreading it around for a month now, and it's highly contagious.
From Chloe the cat, she loves gray.
Yeah, but she's mean to blue. Trace Elements 13. Very mean. Yeah. And that's what I think too. I think there might be, right now in the United States, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. It's totally a random guess, but hundreds of thousands of people maybe. Because it's been around for a month, just doing what it's doing, and then finally we're doing this isolation thing. And people have just been walking around, spreading it. It's way more contagious than the flu. We have no treatments for it. We have no immunity for it. And it's just going to do its thing. But to slow down the curve, the stuff we're doing right now might make a big difference. But everybody's got to do it. It sucks, though. I mean, it really does suck. But it's just something you got to do. They're going to keep stores open. But basically all restaurants are going to be shut down. For you to go in, you can order from them, which is kind of cool. Things like that, but you won't be able to do any of the stuff, like you can't go to a gym. There won't be any of that type of thing going on. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing in here tonight. Yeah. Well, I think most people are being pretty, taking a lot of precautions. I mean, it's funny if you think back. How long ago was that when Kyron, because we were out of hand sanitizer, he shipped it over here. That was way before any of this stuff going on, this craziness. Now it's just really important. You know, and you listening today to some of the other governors out there, like the Ohio governor, which I've seen many times on some of our crimes that we've covered. It was funny because I go, God, I've seen this guy 1 million times, and then boom, he's the governor. So no wonder he was showing up at some of those cold cases that have been solved. But man, listening to his health expert, it wasn't good. It didn't sound good at all. Yep. Yeah, I think that's his name. But anyways. Yeah, that's another thing too. You know, I always get nervous because my wife has to go to work as a CNA, and then, who knows what's going on over there. Somebody, she might have something on her clothing, and she might catch it, and then it's like, I mean, I wouldn't, if I got it if I got it here, I'm not going anywhere to spread it around. And that's basically how everyone has to think about it. Pretend you have it, and you're trying to keep everybody else safe. That's what you got to do in your mind. Pretend that. Not really, Andrea? Well, that's cool. I mean, CNAs are the hardest working people in hospitals, as I've said 1,000 times.
Please save your healthcare workers. Stay inside. Keep us alive.
I missed whoever that was. Oh. Yeah. There you go. CNAs are awesome, man. I mean, you do all the dirty, you know, really the actual dirty work, the heavy lifting. Basically, if without CNAs, nurses' jobs would be a hell of a lot harder. Let's put it that way. So, anyways, there you go, everybody. I appreciate that crazy donation wave that went on there. That was pretty wild. I wasn't even sure, you know, I was kind of looking around like, wait, have I just lost track of time? Is it my birthday? Is this Christmas? Okay. I'm going to switch over. Oops, wrong button. So there's just a bunch of different stories out there that we haven't looked at yet. This is a case that this person was missing for a while. Here, let's see. Investigators with the Lee County Sheriff's Office have found the remains of Diana Alvarez, a San Carlos Park girl who was believed murdered nearly 3 years ago.
Law enforcement.
So let's see what they had to say.
In May of 2016, 9-year-old Diana Alvarez went missing from her home in South Fort Myers. As a result, we, along with our law enforcement partners, initiated an extensive search for Diana, dedicating hundreds of hours and resources into finding her and following leads. Detectives identified Jorge Manuel Guerrero as a suspect in Diana's disappearance and utilized advanced investigative techniques to gather evidence and build a criminal case against him. During the investigation, detectives discovered evidence proving Guerrero possessed child pornography. This information prompted a joint investigation with our federal partners, which led to his conviction in federal court and a 40-year prison sentence on those charges. Detectives continued their investigation and never stopped searching for Diana. Although her body had not been found, detectives worked with our partners at the state attorney's office to obtain an indictment charging Guerrero with the murder of Diana Alvarez. Guerrero is currently awaiting trial on those murder charges. On Thursday, March 12th, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office discovered human remains located in their jurisdiction. A major search and recovery operation was initiated. We'd like to thank the Osceola County Sheriff's Office and all the other agencies that went above and beyond during this investigation. The remains have been positively identified as those of Diana Alvarez. Our team never quit. A major search and recovery operation was initiated. We'd like to thank the Osceola County Sheriff's Office and all the other agencies that went above and beyond during this investigation. The remains...
Let me see, I gotta move my camera. Oh, that's awesome. It has up on the top of the screen in the upper left that you can't see because of my border, but it has the geo coordinates on there. So let me type those in. 27 41 north 80 54 what? Is that gonna work? Does that make sense? Is this in Florida here or Lee County, let's see. Okay, so it must be over in this area. I don't know where to find the degree symbol. Do you guys know where that is? On a keyboard? I haven't used that one for a million years. Anybody know where that is? Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it just shows up on there. Yeah, you guys don't know? I haven't used that for a million years, so I don't know where that would be. Oh, it's above the 5? Huh. Yeah, not me. My 5 has a percent sign on it. Okay, yeah. I'll do that. I used to do that, and I just sort of forgot about it. Right there. It's a good way to do it. Good idea. Alright, so at the top of the screen, I can see it up there. So 27 degree 41 56 00 north and 80 degrees 54 30 17. Oh god. Oh wait, no, 17 west. There you go. Alright, so it was kind of near where I had it before. Oh, there we go. And probably, if I can look at, let's see. Yep. Is that a lake? Yeah, there we go. Boom. Look at that. So that's a dry lake there, but look at this parking lot right there. See that? And then look at right here. Right there. That's the same thing, just at a different angle, kind of like that. See? So now we're in the right spot, and it's going to be right over here then. Let's go back a little bit on the video.
Was initiated. We'd like to thank the Osceola County Sheriff's Office and all the other agencies that went above and beyond.
Okay, so we got a car parked right there, and there's a little...
During this investigation.
Okay. So looking at that... Hey, thanks. Saturnine or Saturnine.
Four-leaf clover from a very stressed medical secretary.
Yeah. Well, it is a stressful time, that's for damn sure. So this area right there is going to be this area, if you can see that. It's probably about like that. And then just right here, it looks like. So the person probably drove up into here, drove back. You can kind of see how they did this. That's sad. Yeah, so see right there, this area. So you drive into this area where there's some cars parked, and then you can go back, and there's some more cement there, and then it looks like it's the next. Okay, so it's the next field over right there. So then it would be
Donating for Dixie Bishop. Love you, Gray Hughes.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. And thanks, Dixie Bishop. Shogun Love and Dixie Bishop. Yeah, so you sort of wonder if they parked here and then walked through. Okay, so let's just keep playing this.
Investigation. The remains have been positively identified as those of Diana Alvarez. Our team never quit, fulfilling the promise we made to Diana's family to never give up on our search for Diana. The monster that committed this horrendous crime is behind bars and will now be brought to justice for the murder of Diana Alvarez. On behalf of the Lee County Sheriff's Office, I want to extend our condolences to the family of Diana Alvarez. This does not bring Diana back, but I hope this helps bring closure to the family. At this time, I'd like to turn the podium over to State Attorney Amira Fox.
Thank you, Sheriff Marcino, and thank you to your team for your excellent and hard work. I'm State Attorney Amira Fox. We previously presented this case to a grand jury in Lee County in May of 2018. The grand jury returned an indictment for first-degree murder. We are seeking the death penalty on this case.
Good.
Thank you all for being here today.
At this time, we'll take a few questions. The remains were first discovered by workers, surveyors that were walking along that wooded area, and they immediately notified the Osceola Sheriff and Sheriff's Office, who then contacted us immediately, and then we worked cohesively with all our partners to where we are today.
Yeah, so it looks like investigators with the Lee County Sheriff's Office have found the remains of Diana Alvarez, a San Carlos Park girl who was believed murdered nearly 3 years ago. The remains have been positively identified as those of Diana Alvarez. And let's see. Nearly 1 year after being indicted on murder charge, Guerrero Torres, 31, was sentenced to 40 years in prison after a jury found him guilty of possessing child pornography. Pictures of Alvarez were found in his possession. Wow. What a piece of shit. Alvarez's mother, Rita Hernandez, and her partner, Uriah Jimenez, have rented a room to Guerrero Torres in 2015 after he had moved. Oh, man. So they rented a room to a pedophile who then, probably, raped and killed their daughter, or her daughter. I think this is the location right here. Let's see what it would look like if you were just... Yeah, so it's out there. I think that what happened here was right in this area over here, they drove in and then drove back to where it abuts against the woods, maybe even drove right to here, then just took her body through the woods and put it back in this area. Because if you go back to that video, let's just look at that one more time. Oh, wow, that was luck right there.
And beyond.
See, I see some activity right there. I don't know if that car is moving down there. Let's see.
Above and beyond during this investigation.
Yeah.
The remains have been...
So, I don't know exactly where. It seemed like they were really... The camera seemed to be zoomed in, though. Right back there, right? So if that's true, then it's not this spot, even though your first instinct would think that. It's through these woods into this area. I bet you if I go to Google Earth and get a different date and go back to a different time of year, you'll see that it'll be clear there-ish, maybe. It's not as wooded, let's put it that way. Looks different now, though. See how there's an opening there? Well, there's that sign, right? So let's just check to see how close it is to the sign. I see the sign right there, so it's really here, then, I guess. Let me look at this one more time. I think I might have this wrong.
That went above and beyond during this investigation.
Okay. Yeah, so this part here is right there. I can see the same shape. If I turn it like this, notice how that looks exactly the same, about like that. That and that. So that means it's
Investigation.
next
The remains
through there, but that's way more open now with dirt on the ground where it isn't. There isn't dirt there anymore, but look where that sign is. It's right there, and it looked like the sign... Sorry, gotta get this figured out. There's the sign right there. And if you were just to kind of go perpendicular off, you'd be over there, and it's a little bit before that, so yeah. So I think right where I have it now is pretty good. And I think what happened was they drove into here, drove back to there, and then carried her body through the woods. So it's, you know, the body, what's different though is this image we're looking at here is from 2017. And this isn't, this is new. So in 2017, it probably looked different, and they're doing survey work there, so they've probably changed it a little bit. $50 and $192. I don't know what that means. Okay, well, there's good news in there. Maybe we'll have to keep following the, see what happens. If they have the right type of information, I hope he gets the death penalty. Sounds pretty obvious, though. He had a picture of her, he had child porn, and he rented a room from the parent of the child that was missing. Doesn't that seem kind of obvious? I don't think the jury's going to be out for more than 10 minutes on that one. Now look at this craziness. This isn't from this week or anything, but I found it randomly on the internet and I posted it in one of the groups, I think. But listen, look at this. Real estate investors could have been killed in booby-trapped Philadelphia house. A team of Philadelphia real estate investors said a house they purchased was booby-trapped with a swinging knife that could have killed someone. And it's more than that too, though. Thank you, Barbara Smith, 2,000 views.
A real estate investor is lucky to be alive after a dangerous encounter inside a home he was rehabbing. He recorded this video from inside the rundown row home in Southwest Philadelphia. He says he and his colleagues were performing a walkthrough of the property when they came across a string attached to a nail on the wall. When he looked above the stairs, he realized the house had been booby-trapped.
Thanks, Bart.
Whoa! Yo, that dog killed you right in the head, dude.
Yeah, take a look at that. That's a knife attached to a metal crutch. The man behind the camera says he would not be surprised if he came across something like this again.
You know, a lot of these houses you go in that are shells and vacant, and especially with the gentrification going on in Philadelphia, with the housing market, growing at a rapid pace, people want to keep on investing. You're going to come across these things.
Despite the incident, they still plan to finish the property. At last check, the video has been viewed more than 30 million times worldwide.
Yeah, there was even more in there, too. It wasn't just that. There was some spikes underneath some stairs and things. Pretty wild. I mean, who would do that? God. Okay, we got some Jodi Arias related news. Arias prosecutor faces firing over fears he'll retaliate against female colleagues. Yeah, I think the more of this stuff that we see, the more likely it is for Arias to get another trial. I think people are just going to be like, yeah, no, she's definitely... I mean, because Juan Martinez, he even though he was entertaining and fun to watch, he did a lot of stuff that was absolutely just... it was ludicrous, okay? She's definitely guilty as hell. Even if there's another trial, there will never be a death penalty, will never be given to Arias, even if there's a new trial, because that would be off the table in that case.
Tonight, Juan Martinez, the man who prosecuted Jodi Arias in her murder trial, is facing firing tonight. Good evening, I'm Tram Mai.
And I'm Mitch Carr. Mark and Caribe are off tonight. The Maricopa County attorney says she reached her decision after numerous women in her office accused Martinez of harassment. Team 12's William Pitts is in the alert center with the details.
Oh, William Pitts.
Martinez is already fighting
That guy was one of the guys that was around during the Arias days.
back.
He is. The county attorney's office did not take it easy on Martinez, though. The report said his own actions left them with no choice but to fire him to protect his victims.
The Jodi Arias trial was sensational.
Justice will be in the afterlife when Jodi burns in hell.
Followed by millions.
Juan Martinez.
And made a rock star out of prosecutor Juan Martinez. He was the lead prosecutor, grilling Arias on the stand for days.
It's just a case, and there was a verdict, and that's all it is.
But Martinez posed for pictures, autographs, even allegedly had an affair with a trial blogger during the trial. Now, Juan Martinez, dubbed Teflon Juan by trial watchers, has been fired. At least 7 bar complaints have been filed against him in 4 years. The state bar filed a complaint that he had behaved unethically during the Arias trial. But it was the multiple claims of sexual harassment in the county attorney's office that ultimately stuck. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office sent Martinez his termination letter, along with a laundry list of reasons why he was fired. The chief deputy wrote Martinez had created a situation that was impossible to manage because the county attorney's office had to try to keep him away from those he had victimized. And that even after being disciplined and sent to sexual harassment training, Martinez apparently did not think he had done anything wrong. The chief deputy wrote Martinez had allegedly retaliated against his victims, showing up on floors of the building where they worked without any good reason. And the letter said those same victims had asked for reassignments to any place he was not. It said that it had become impossible to protect those victims and that they shouldn't have to make career decisions based on avoiding Martinez.
Yeah. So the thing is Juan
Martinez is appealing his firing, as is his right as a county employee. The County Employee Merit Commission will hear his appeal, but we do not know when that will be. We're in the Alert Center. William Pitts, 12 News.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, Juan Martinez, he was entertaining, but there was a certain point where I lost respect for the guy when he started to, when he changed the sequencing of the actual murder itself, the weapon, the sequencing of the weapon used. For 14 months after the murder of Jodi Arias, he and his whole team argued, even in court 14 months later, that the gunshot was first, and that was even in the special cruelty phase of the case. Not the phase, but an argument made in court. And that's what they believe. They even went on to various shows like 48 Hours, different things, saying that the gunshot was first. And the autopsy definitely suggests that. And then Jodi, who would always, she had been claiming that there was these 2 ninja-like characters. And it was really ridiculous. I have this really cool video where she's describing the ninja thing, drawing on a napkin, but I actually put the diagram as she's drawing on the map, on the napkin, and you can actually see what the hell she's trying to claim. And it's really ludicrous. But anyway, she dropped that claim after a while and switched to self-defense, which was, then the ninja story's gone, and in the self-defense theory, well, the gunshot's first, right? And that's what the prosecution was saying. So then they realized, wow, well, then it's just going to be about why the gunshot was first. We got to completely go against what she's saying. So is there a way we can switch this around to knife first? And that would also sell the special cruelty better too. Would make a better argument for special cruelty. So let's go ahead and let's go with knife first. Now what you're going to have to do, I guarantee it, this whole thing happened right here. That with Flores, he was told that he needed to say that he kind of misheard what Kevin Horn told him. And then Horn had to just say he doesn't remember ever speaking to Flores about the case. And then, then it's just about, oh, well, I don't remember. It was insane. I could do a full video putting all the pieces together because they're in my head. That would be so compelling. And the thing is, Jodi's defense should use that for a new trial because it's so obvious. It really is. And Horn, he said that the he examined the brain. He said, yes, the brain, it was symmetrical. I did not observe a gun track wound or a gun track in the brain, but the observation of that was somewhat limited due to decomposition. Not that it was, oh, wow. It was, I couldn't really tell. The brain was so, he just said somewhat, which is mildly. And it's true that it was mildly decomposed because he actually did serial cross-sections, which he forgot to mention. He literally, during the trial, when one of Wilmot's only good moments, except then she let him out of it after it, was when Horn was up there and he said, well, at this point, you can't even examine the brain. It's liquid. It's a liquid. You can't even examine it. And then she said, well, you did serial cross-sections. And he went, oh. And he's kind of thumbed through the autopsy and he goes, oh, okay. So it's not liquid. It's just softened. Well, don't you think that is just egregious right there? Just that little bit right there. That right there, he was trying to oversell that he couldn't read the autopsy. He was trying to make it seem like, the brain. He couldn't examine the brain. It was just this goo that was, I couldn't even do anything with it. It was just liquid. Well, it turns out you did serial cross-sections, and when you were doing that, you did not find a bullet track through the brain. And it was merely somewhat limited due to decomposition because it was actually really cool. The air conditioning was left on in there. And it preserved them longer than had it not happened. All right, so it was somewhat limited. Then, on the autopsy, it says the duramater was intact. Okay, well, the duramater, you can look it up, is a thick, leathery film, like a encasing of your brain. It goes all the way around. And he said that it was intact. And if a jury actually asked the question and said, well, if the bullet hit the brain, why was the duramater intact? And then you know what he said? He thumbed through the autopsy and he said, well, that was a typo. Okay, so now you've got all these things. Now, that's a typo now. The brain was liquid. He tried to sell. He was hoping nobody would catch that. It was just mind-boggling, really. And then he said in a let's see. Flores said twice that he spoke to him, and he said yes, that Travis would not be incapacitated. He would not have been incapacitated with the shot. And the funny thing is at trial, Horn said, well, I've said right here I didn't think he'd be incapacitated. And then he looked over at Juan and he says, obviously if the bullet hit his brain, he wouldn't be able to function. It was hilarious. He made the mistake because he remembered the way he actually, the truth of it. And then he said, yeah, I've said right here that I think he wouldn't have been incapacitated. It was unbelievable. I think it's, look at, Jodi's guilty as hell, right? But I'm also not for what they did, because that shit that they did right there is what they do in other cases where somebody's innocent and they trick the jury into believing something else. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm laying down? So even if you really love Juan Martinez, he was doing some shady shit there. And then you got there was a blood spatter, quote, expert who got all of her information online, training. And she gets up there, and the only thing she's sure about, everybody, the only thing that she was literally sure about was the fact that the bullet casing being in a little bit of blood on the ground meant that the stabbing was first, because that put the blood on the ground, and then the casing was found on top of that. And I'm thinking, God, there must be a million other ways that bullet could have got there. A million. You know, her friends came by, they kicked it around. The shell could have been on the ground. She could have kicked it on there later. It's just a million ways the bullet could have got on that little tiny piece of blood. But that's the only thing she was absolutely sure about. It's almost like, okay, listen, yeah, yada, yada, yada. Go through your thing, go through your thing, go through your thing. But when I get to this point, you really need to hammer this home for me, all right? And if you say that, by God, we'll keep you in here as long as we can. And then you've got Flores. You know what he said when he was asked? He said, yes, he told me about Horn that Travis wouldn't be incapacitated and that he thought the gunshot was first. And then he said, well, he just misheard him. He said, well, I wasn't inaccurate. I just was mistaken. See, that was like this internal conflict that Flores had, realizing that he actually he did hear what he heard, so he says, well, I wasn't inaccurate, I was just mistaken. Well, what's the difference? That means the same thing. But he just couldn't get to the thing where I wasn't mistaken, because he knows he wasn't mistaken. I felt bad for Flores. Yeah, what's your PSA, Barbara? There's so much more, by the way. It's mind-boggling. Anyways, I'll be back in just a second. You know what that means? Hey, thanks, Christine G. The throne? What do you mean, Jonah? Yeah. Yes, and I read what... Wait, what was it I was looking at? Oh, yeah, Barbara Smith's comment. She said that we're going to get through. I totally agree that we're going to get through it. The thing is what we're doing right now is to protect vulnerable people, and it's older people and people with compromised systems. It's still not totally safe for regular people.
We will get through this together. Be kind, help each other.
What are you confused about, Miss Incredible? Sorry, I'm confused. What was so confusing? What happened? I did. Thanks, Barbara Smith. Yes. And if you're younger and you're healthy, just stay away from people, okay? You are a petri dish. You're literally walking around petri dish. You're probably totally healthy. You feel totally fine. You have no fever. You have nothing. And you are literally sharing, you're spreading it around. And do not go anywhere near your grandparents for at least the 2 weeks, okay? It's going to be longer than that, but... Yeah. Yeah, they don't, but they rarely ever do it unless it's sort of a need to do, I think they should get the National Guard in at some point. If there's still these little millennials running around.
I completely disagree with government overstepping their boundaries, but I support what's going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's just sort of an obvious statement, right? I mean, yeah. No, I don't. Hey, everybody, I love when the government oversteps. Don't you? Yeah. In this case, you sort of need it, though. What are you talking about? What does Miss Incredible have? I covered the Jodi Arias case from the very beginning all the way through, and what I wrote is absolutely what I just said and went through is 100% accurate. It just is. Kevin Horn, Flores, and Martinez all conspired to change the theory. It's just really obvious, and if you don't see it, it just means you're one of those people that got blinded by loving the prosecution team so much that you can't see anything else. Yeah, I don't think so. I think people welcome, when you call it overstepping, I don't agree with just calling it that every single time. It's, when the government says, hey, we got to deploy martial law, block off these streets, maybe that's something at that moment it's required to do. So is it really overstepping, or is it, Yeah, but what was she confused about? Miss Incredible. She said up there, sorry, I'm confused. Someone asked if I was someone asked if you were trolling. No? I didn't think you were trolling. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I didn't see her trolling. Don't worry about it, Miss... I want to make sure I say it right. I don't want to say the wrong one.
Okay, dating opportunity. Anyone else in their 30s and not worried about corona? Hit me up. LMAO.
Shit. Yeah. Did you really laugh your ass off? Did it fall off? Literally. That's amazing. Yeah. But aren't there times... Hey, Kyron, don't you think there's times where you welcome government overreach? But the thing is, you don't think of it as overreach when it's actually needed, right? Like, for example, right now, if they forced curfew in places where kids are just, oh, the hell with it, spreading around, all that stuff. Well, maybe you need to get the National Guard in there to make sure that they go inside at a certain time so they're not out partying and spreading the germs around. See, that's the thing. It's like, what do you call it? Yeah, well, that's the problem. We have a lot of dumb people in our society. I say that almost every week. That there's just a lot of really stupid people out there. Fortunately, you guys are not those people. Yeah.
A 21-year-old man accused of...
Oh yeah, here's an update on this case right here. Do you guys remember this one? Oh yeah, that's right. Hit the like button.
I'm fired out of it, 10 down, 15,
hit the like button, 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 hit the like button,
20, 30, and 30, and 30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25 of them, you're out. I'm at 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Yeah, and here's the scary part about it. It's like I was watching the stock market today. It went down the highest number it's ever dropped in the history of the stock market. It was down about 1,900 points, and then Trump was talking, and they asked him, so how long are you saying this might last? And he goes, well, they're saying July, August, something like that. And it went, and that's kind of when they're thinking it would completely they use the word wash through society, but my God, that is just really insane. Yes, President Trump. Yeah. What's going on with this? Yeah, hopefully it's going to be. I don't think. But then the other guy came on, the CDC expert guy, and he said, "Well, what we're saying. We're not saying it won't get back to normal before then. It's just that's when it'll be completely gone." Or Well, what they're doing right now is going to slow the aftermath. Because right now, let's just say this. If everybody sat in their house for a month, 2 weeks to a month, this sucker would be over really quick. Okay? That's the truth. But that doesn't happen. And people can't do that. You got to go to the store. You got to go different places. But what they're doing, the things they're putting into place right now are going to have a huge impact. The sporting event thing, my God, that was genius to quit doing that right away like that, even though it sucks. I mean, it's horrible. You turn on ESPN and they're playing video games. They don't have anything to do on that channel anymore. I think it'll recover the economy really quickly. As soon as they say, well, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a bottoming out time. I don't know if we're there yet, where it's just, whoa, we can't really go much lower. And then any time there's positive numbers coming out, the stock market will take big jumps back up. It'll just keep being like, and it's a good, if I was you guys, if you had any a reserve funds, keep them available and buy up some of these companies that are, a company like Starbucks is a good example. They're getting just killed because nobody can really get out there. I guess they have drive-thrus, but Google is a good one. Microsoft, Apple. That program I use called Zoom? Well, that stock's gone way up because all these meetings are going to have to be done online now. Yes, hit that like button. Oh, by the way, you remember that case we were talking about a couple of weeks ago? Well, not even that long ago. Adam Rosenberg. the potential serial killer, the guy that went on, I think it was one of those dating game. It was like dating. What the hell was it? I was gonna say like a. I don't know if it was a gay dating app or whatever it was, but he met somebody. He goes over to their house and then he just shoots him in the head, like right after he gets there, and he leaves. And then they go over to his house for some. I can't remember why exactly now, but then they found another body in the woods by his house, and it was another person that he was familiar with. So here's the a story on that one.
Of shooting and killing a man that he met on a dating app went before a judge this morning. This coming after human remains were recently discovered near his family's
No, I don't think it was
property.
Grindr. It was
Nicole
something
Ford
similar.
was inside that courtroom for Adam Rosenberg's preliminary hearing.
21-year-old Adam Rosenberg is back in the Allegheny County Jail after listening to his attorneys fight on his behalf to have multiple charges dropped in his case. Over a dozen family members of 28-year-old Jeremy Dental walked into a courtroom somber. Dental was shot and killed at his Baldwin
that's the
home
house
in
that we had.
February. County police arrested and charged Adam Rosenberg for his murder just days later. Police say Rosenberg took an Uber to Dental's home after meeting him on a dating app. Surveillance video shows someone walking into that home at their meetup time and leaving in less than 50 seconds. Over a day later, Dental was found dead inside. Police say that person on video was Rosenberg, but the defense attorneys say there's no witness placing Rosenberg at that scene. Meanwhile, they used the circumstantial evidence to get the judge to drop the robbery and weapons charges. The judge's reply, the testimony he heard was sickening, premeditated, and shocking. Therefore, he was holding all charges for court. Defense attorney Casey White says he's not surprised, and they've prepared Rosenberg for the next step.
He's in obviously a tough position. He's
You know what you don't ever hear? You don't hear defense attorneys sound like this. Listen to
he's
that.
in obviously a tough position. He's
toast
in
at
the
that
Allegheny
point.
County Jail, facing homicide charges, facing life in prison. He's just taking it one day at a time.
Rosenberg.
Now, if that was Baez, he'd be out there saying, oh, come on, listen, his dad treated him like this, he did this and this and that, and about 2 minutes later you go, hey, good point, man, I bet you he's innocent.
His next court date is April 14th, but his attorneys say it could be another 6 to 8 months before we see a possible trial. Outside the Allegheny County Jail, Nicole Ford, KDKA News.
Yeah. Oh, here's a crazy one. Listen to this. Look at this one.
The identity of a man found dead in Allatoona Lake is a mystery. Police say the identity of a man found dead in Allatoona Lake is a mystery. They've taken fingerprints, they've used facial recognition, and now they need your help. Take a look.
They're not sure how if it's
Of the victim.
homicide,
Police
though.
found the body in the water with a gunshot to the head.
I'm just
Channel 2's
kidding.
Chris Jose is live in Bartow County. And Chris, investigators say a small...
Yeah, I don't think they're going to release the prisoners.
Wait until prisoners get released. OMG.
I heard something about that.
A boat anchor was also tied to the man's body.
Right, investigators also
We're investigating this as a homicide. We're not quite sure yet. Yeah. He's got a bullet wound to the head, and he was tied to an anchor. What do you think?
discovered ankle weights on the body and a backpack filled with
Look
rocks.
look how crazy this shit is. I mean,
Sand.
listen to this.
This is a sketch of the victim. Police found the body in the water with a gunshot to the head. Channel 2's Chris Jose is live in Bartow County. And Chris, investigators say a small boat anchor was also tied to the man's body.
Right, investigators also discovered ankle weights on the body and a backpack filled with rocks and sand. We launched News Drone 2 to give you an idea of how big the body of water is out here. You can see from this view, view from News Drone 2 that this lake really does stretch for miles. Deputies say they found the body floating on the water.
He also had a gunshot wound to his right temple.
The Bartow County Sheriff's Office gave us this sketch of the man recovered from Allatoona Lake. Investigators say someone on a boat found the man floating on the water on September 1st.
At this point, we're merely looking for anyone that can help us.
It just shows you the power of, you know, gases, water, you know, air. When you're in, like sometimes there'll be some massive 3-ton piece of metal, and all they do is attach it to a balloon and fill the balloon up with a bunch of air, but it's not even that much air, and it floats the entire thing up. Okay, so like even though they weighted him down with a backpack, ankle weights, all this stuff, they still float to the surface every time.
Identify this male.
Investigators circled the spot on this map near Allatoona Dam. Deputies say the man had a gunshot wound to his right temple. The man had on a backpack filled with rocks and sand, ankle weights, and a small boat anchor tied to his waist.
Obviously, we know a gunshot causes death.
Well, I guess it could be suicide then, I guess. If he wanted to make sure he didn't, wasn't found, he could have shot himself falling in over a boat, but then how did he get out there? Yeah.
What the manner of the death was, we'll need to put together his lifeline and figure out why he was at the lake.
Deputies say the man doesn't match up with any missing people in Bartow County or Metro Atlanta. The GBI did an autopsy.
Yeah,
so
sounds
far,
like
deputies say
murder.
facial
I'm just
recognition
saying.
software has not identified the man.
We did run his fingerprints through the databases and have no returns at this time.
Investigators never found a wallet or IDs. Investigators say the man is between 55 and 65 years old. Live in Bartow County, Chris
Yeah, that's just it. That's what I was saying.
Jose, Channel 2 Action News.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of the way a lot of different people kill people, not just a cartel. We hear this kind of stuff all the time. I mean, that's how shit, wasn't it?
Now, note 4, if you've got an old Facebook or
what are their
email
names
account
again?
that you
That one case in Georgia, I think it is, where the husband and wife, they went missing. However, when people went over to the house, they found his full body, and then, but his head was missing. Then they found his wife, who was weighted down, but she was floating in the lake. The Dermans, yeah, Russell and Shirley Derman. There you go. There you go. Thanks, Gritty Grit. I was trying to remember the first names. It wasn't popping into my head. Yeah, that's an unsolved case, too. And they're a really older couple. It seems definitely like a hit of some sort. Nothing was really missing. And it hasn't been solved. Just totally out of nowhere. Whoever killed them got there on a boat, probably. Although the surveillance cameras weren't working for some reason in that neighborhood on that day. I don't know about that, Daudio Caspian Horses Rock, but
you do not use, it could give criminals access to all of your personal information.
yeah. So what's the deal with this criminals that you guys are talking about? Are they releasing criminals? What's the reason for releasing criminals related to the virus? Just so that they're not. What they should do is keep them all in their own cells, basically. You know, now if there's those ones that are, you know, they're in there for smoking pot or something, forget it. Just let them out. Really? Yeah, well, just keep them in their jail cells. That's a dumb reason to. I wouldn't let out one violent criminal for this. Forget it, man. Just keep them in there. Let out the ones that are maybe not as violent, and keep the violent ones in there. Give them their own cells. That's it. Oh, well, I don't want to let perverts out, do you? Wow. So where's it? Is this all states? Is this a federal mandate or what? What's going on there? I thought you said they... I'm not sure what the deal is there. It seems like they're perfect for not letting out. If you just keep them in their cells most of the time for 2 or 3 weeks and test every prisoner, then you know what you're dealing with. And then, but if you're just going to let them out, they're just going to be people who are running the streets. A lot of times these people aren't really, they're not concerned with, you know, what society wants them to do, obviously. Yeah, I'll have to go look it up or something. I don't know what you're... I mean, are they saying that on Luckner's channel, Barbara? Yeah, we'll have to check that out. It didn't make sense to me right when you said it. It seems like it'd be better to keep them in prison and just make sure that they... Maybe just 2 people to sell and then test them. And then you'll know exactly. I mean, it's almost perfect. It's what the government wishes they could do with the rest of us during a pandemic. Keep us all in our homes and then go send us tests. Now, here's what I think. This is what I would do, everybody. After this, we get through this, I think the government should make 500 million test kits. And whatever it costs, if it costs $50 billion to get those, make 500 million test kits and keep them. And what I mean, I'm talking about the collection kit, not the actual test itself, because those have to be rejiggered every single time that there's a pandemic. But the actual collection mechanism test. And what I would do is, if there's ever a pandemic that starts again, what you do is in the first week or so, you send out a kit to every single person in the United States, and they send it in, and you have multiple centers out there that process it automatically, just like they're talking about right now. And then you have an immediate knowledge of where the virus is in the entire country right away. Okay, then you wait 2 weeks and you send out another, maybe 3 weeks. Then you send out everybody kits again. And based on the first set is how you recommend trying to stop it. Okay, as soon as you take your test, you send it in, then they send you back and say you need to self-quarantine, you have the virus. Boom, you stay in. So they immediately can just call you back and let you know that you need to stay inside. So within 48 hours, you get the result back. You send it in and boom, 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 boom. They have these just massive systems that process it somehow, right? Then they send it again after 3 weeks to see how it's gone based on the recommendations of the first round. You got to have something like that, because right now when they say, oh man, we've got 1.9 million kits out there, that's a joke, everybody. That is stupid. Oh, you can only get tested. Here's the thing. Hey, everybody, you can only get tested if you have symptoms. Does that make any sense to anybody? No, because the people who are spreading it around are the people who don't have symptoms, and they don't give a damn because they're feeling great and they're just running around. Those are the ones we need to know about. As a matter of fact, I would test every person below the age of 20 without having symptoms. What's this article right here? Yeah? What are they? They're seeking to do it? Ohio. A jail system that covers Cleveland and surrounding suburbs is looking to release as many as 300 non-violent or low-risk offenders. Yeah. Well, what they probably want to do is get rid of some of them so they can have more single cells for people. Yeah, but it's just they're seeking to do that. Right. Yeah. But that's what I would do, is I would make 500 million test kits for just the collection, because that's the same every time, you know, up the nose, down the throat, whatever the hell they do, and just have them ready to go for the next one, so that as soon as there's an outbreak somewhere else, maybe you wait 3 weeks or something because it's not in your country yet, and then you send out the tests to see if it's got to the country and what it's doing, and then you start strategizing. Right now, they don't have a clue what's going on. Honest to God, right this minute, everybody, every single day, more and more people are getting the virus, and all these things that they're putting out there have slowed it down tremendously. It really has. This thing about, you know, people staying at home, working from home, limiting gatherings of people, it's slowing it down tremendously. But I think it was a little late, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of people that have it right now. But nobody was really thinking about this. You know, you've got those wacko, you know, the scientists, you know, they're not really wackos, they're geniuses. The CDC, the frontline people. Go check out the Netflix show called Pandemic. It's crazy. Yeah, you got these people that go into caves over in Lebanon and check out the bats to see what viruses they might have, and if it's just nuts.
Wash your hands.
That's right. Wash your hands. Yeah. The fluffy white. Yeah, I have I just pretty much, my hands are getting really dry because I keep using the hand sanitizer. Ah, really? That sucks, Marissa. Yeah, well, what sucks about that is I think that attempted murder, like I've said on here many times, should be exactly the same as murder. Or, you know, same time, everything. Same time in jail and everything. You know, there was this video out on it was on where the hell was that? I don't even know. It was Twitter or something. And the lady was sitting in a classroom, and she was sitting there thinking, "Oh, don't touch your face," and she'd be like, "Whew." You know, like you're just about to touch your face for all the different things, you know, like you always touch your face. You're always touching your face. But here's the thing, everybody, you can touch your face if after you wash your hands. Like if you went like this with sanitizer, right? You can probably touch your face. It's so that you don't have something on your hand that you put on your face. I mean, just use common sense a little bit. It's not like you wash your hands, you got all the germs off your hand, and then as soon as you touch your face again, you might then wash your hands again in case there was something on your head. But if there is, it's too late at that point. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got at my house here. We got everything. gloves, sanitize. But it's like I don't think I need gloves at my house though. It's like it's just me and Chris, but I mean I'm just doing all I can really. Awesome, Barbara Smith. Yeah. But let me ask you this though, everybody. Like if you're at your house, you're using sanitizer, you don't have the virus and everything, and you're just sitting here, like why do you have to keep washing off different surfaces? I mean, how would it get in here if I haven't left the house? Now, Chris though goes to work and comes back, so maybe at that point. But I don't know. Some of it's kind of weird. Yeah. But what she did the other day when she came home, when there was a corona, they weren't really sure. There was somebody in their area. They thought she had coronavirus, but it turned out to be the flu. And she went in, and when she came home, she went in the garage, and I had a robe for her. She put all of her clothes in the wash machine and put the robe on that was clean, and took a shower. Then we put the robe back in the, it's kind of complicated shit at that point. Oh, and here's another thing, everybody. There's a lot of deaths out there, but some of the deaths that have been attributed to the flu could very well have been the coronavirus because they hadn't been testing yet for that. They were just died of flu-like illness. So there could be a hell of a lot more deaths that could be attributed, but we just don't know. Huh? I don't get it. Oh yeah, Chernobyl. Chernobyl's crazy shit, man. Watch that documentary. Yeah. Yeah, well, it is kind of weird. Like, if you're a healthy person, getting the virus, you'd sort of feel like Superman after you beat it. But they don't know yet if you can get it again. That's the thing, is they don't know that part. Now let's see what this says. I think this is related to that last one. They had a bunch of tips come in, but they still don't know who he is. Isn't that, he's that actor. Oh, you can't see. It's still me on the screen. Oh, hey, at least I caught it soon. Yeah, my memory for names right now is really bad. I can't remember the names of anybody. Who is that guy? Who's the one that has the salad dressing? He was in Color of Money. That guy. Cool Hand Luke. Man, I can't remember the freaking name. You guys will bust it out in 2 seconds. It's just not popping into my head. There it is. Paul Newman, everybody. Look, there he is. Oh, there we go.
I'm fired out of been 10 down 15 on I better dung beard on 15 I better dung beard on 15 20 I better dung beard on 15 better dung beard on 20 down 5 better dung beard on 30 and 30 and 30 25 better dung beard on 30 you want to put 30 sir 25 of them you're out I better dung beard on 25 better dung beard on 30 30 now 5 I'm 30.
You guys are awesome. Boom, one after the other. You know what we should all wear? Are wetsuits filled with hand sanitizer with a breathing straw. We'll be just fine. Well, we'll wear the old diving suits. You know, the ones where you have like a 400-pound helmet. It'll look something like the boy in the plastic bubble ish. Yeah. And that's actually an idea I have, everybody. I don't know if I've told you about it before, but imagine if you had, like, if you're at a restaurant and you have these loud children, right? Well, wouldn't it be great if there was an invention where you literally, you put the helmet onto the child and then you fasten the front so it's just a window there, right? And they're just screaming at the top of their lungs, bawling, but nobody else in the restaurant can hear them at all. And then you have this little tube that pumps in paste every once in a while for them to eat. Okay? But they're sitting there next to you, and then people come up, oh, what a lovely child you've got there. And they're just screaming into the glass, but nobody can hear them at all. Oh, God, that'd be beautiful. And the movie theater, too. You could take them to movies. You could take them to, and they could just be yapping away the whole time. Maybe you could have like a radio, like a comm system where the parent can have a sort of an earbud to hear what's going on in there. Have you thought of that? I think it would work, man. It has a better chance of making a really good Saturday Night Live skit, but yeah, that's right. You need one on the parent that would want to answer the kid. Oh, who stuckums do you need it? Hey, listen, we're in a movie here. Just have the paste going there, right? Of course, when the movie's over, you take the helmet off. There's probably paste all over the kid's face. But you know what? Everybody else got to enjoy the movie. Doesn't that matter? Yeah. What's this one? Oh, by the way, everybody, I called today. I called about the, let's see, I gotta get the names. I called the detectives on the Christina Lynn Warrens and the, what was the other one? Oh, Rachel Johnson, and how they were connected. They thought that they were connected back in the day, but they couldn't make a connection. But now they've made an arrest in the Rachel Johnson case, and but there were sketches in the Warrens case, and the person they arrested in the Rachel Johnson case looks almost identical to the sketch. Now, we know that sketches aren't actually photographs, but some of the characteristics are things like if you have long hair in your 30s, or even in your late 20s, you're probably gonna have long hair your whole life. You know, if you have long hair and you're in high school, you know, people change, but if you have long hair in your 30s, you're probably gonna continue to have long hair. That's my opinion. And so that was, how many years ago was that? Yeah, 1991, so it'd be 29 years ago. He was like 20-something, 26. Yeah, you know what they should do is close down McDonald's, Christy, and turn them into the drive-through testing stations. Or maybe they could have one, you know how they have two windows where you pay, maybe make one the testing station and the other one you pick up a cheeseburger. Shallow Vallow. That's too kind almost, isn't it? Hey, what's wrong with McDonald's? I'll tell you what, though. There isn't one hamburger place, fast food restaurant, that makes their burgers look like the picture they have on the menu when you're driving in. I mean, it almost looks like they go out of their way with the hamburger and cheeseburger to smash it into the flattest looking thing you've ever seen in your life when you open that sucker up. Right? Yeah, like one of those lovely cheeseburgers you have there. And you open it up and you're like, what the hell did you guys do? Did you sit on it right after you? Yeah, the McDonald's French fries right out of the deep fryer. There really isn't anything better than that. Yeah, I try to not go to fast food too often, but every once in a while, it's all you got. Yeah, I don't know how anybody could possibly go vegan. You know, you have you ever eaten a piece of prime rib, for God's sakes? I think prime rib would convert almost every vegan. As soon as you had a bite of it, right on the edge there with the marbled fat. I know that's making you puke, but oh, man. I like Big Macs too, Patricia. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's check out this one. Genetic test helps officials identify Roger Hearn Kelso as victim in 1985 cold case. So they've finally found the name. They knew this person was murdered, but they didn't even know what his name was. So now they can start from there. At least they know who this person is.
But imagine if by taking one of those tests, you could crack an age-old cold case.
WJZ is live outside of the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Rachel Menitoff explains how a new technology is helping detectives do just that. Rachel.
Rick and Nicole, good evening. Anne Arundel County is one of many police departments now using genetic genealogy. And by using DNA, they're able to identify missing people and also suspects who have committed crimes.
Where he was located was not far from the train tracks.
Roger Hearn Kelso went missing from his Glen Burnie home in 1963. He was around 20 years old and left a note saying he was in pursuit of a new job.
My whole life, and with my mother and my siblings, we wondered, where are you?
His younger sisters, Heather and Gail, say their brother was not one to miss a family
This is
gathering.
a weird thing.
It's been in the county for years.
In 1985, Anne Arundel County Police located Roger's remains in a dumpster at the construction site of the Marley Station Mall. But they
See, here's the thing: is the guy went missing in 1963, right? But then his body was found in a dumpster in 1985. So does that mean that somebody moved his body into the dumpster later because it was a skeleton? I mean, it seems like he would have been missing since 63, or was he just out running around for 22 years?
They had no idea who they belonged to.
But let's not try to sell people on being vegans. I think it's nuts to be a vegan, but you know, all of us kind of like you know, eating meats and that kind of thing. And hey, listen, if you're in here and you eat meats, don't be persuaded to go to become a vegan. Just do what you've been doing. And for those of you who are vegans, you can do whatever you want. I think it's crazy, but you know, go ahead and do it. People in the world can do whatever the hell they want. All right, here we go.
Everyone wanted to know who he was and what his story was.
Detective Regina Collier with the Anne Arundel County Police Department says in 2015 they got the break they had been waiting for. A company out of Reston, Virginia called Parabon Nanolabs used the DNA from the human remains to construct a composite sketch of what the unidentified person likely looked like. The process is called phenotyping. From there, a genetic genealogist uploaded the DNA to a public file called GEDMAT.
Yeah, I know what you're doing, Kyron, but you know, here's the thing: is I'll never be a vegan unless I'm forced to become one. You know, But anyways, this is Parabon. They found his skeletal remains, and then they sent it in, and then they were able to get a... let me rewind this.
And compared it to a failure with the Anne Arundel County Police Department says in 2015 they got the break they had been waiting for. A company out of Reston, Virginia called Parabon Nanolabs used the DNA from the human remains to construct a composite sketch of what the unidentified person likely looked like. The process is called phenotyping. From there, a genetic genealogist uploaded the DNA to a public file called GEDmatch and compared it to 1 million other people who opted into the website, eventually locating some of Roger Kelso's distant cousins. She was able to reverse engineer their family tree.
There are families, detectives, and the
C.C.
community
Moore.
that have been yearning for answers for years.
Yeah, you remember this is the guy that Greeno, this is the lady that Greeno interviewed. Remember that? How he goes, oh yeah, I interviewed C.C. Moore, yeah. And he would just take what she says and then go to him asking questions, cutting it back and forth. And I told him, listen, you didn't interview her. Okay? Tell people that. Oh, they know. Eventually he came clean on it, but it was just ridiculous.
Or even decades. And investigative genetic genealogy is finally able to provide those answers.
This science provided the answers that Roger Kelso's family has been waiting for almost 57 years.
But to get this closure, we're so incredibly grateful.
Roger Kelso's case is still an open homicide investigation. That's why police are trying to get in touch with old classmates or anyone who may have known something about Roger's whereabouts at the time of his disappearance. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to call the tip line here at the Anne Arundel County Police Department. For now, we're live in Anne Arundel County. I'm Rachel Menitoff.
Yeah, the part that's confusing, though, is he disappeared. He was missing from 1963, and then it says... Anne Arundel County Police found Rogers' remains in a dumpster at a construction site of the Marley Station Mall in 1985. Well, that's 22 years later. Was he literally out on the run and got killed? And it sounds like they found a skeleton. So, did somebody just dump his remains into the dumpster? I don't know. There's a 22-year gap there. I need that. I wish that was part of the story. I mean, doesn't anybody think of asking that question? Anyways. Oh, there's a little bit of Melissa Pesky news here. It's pretty good news for, let's see. It says a life insurance company. Well, let's play this. Do they have anything here? That's a commercial. A life insurance company that issued policies for a Hartford woman who was murdered in Missouri is asking federal judge to appoint an independent administrator for her estate rather than relinquish insurance money to her husband. That's awesome. See, that means that there's a little bit more suspicion out there. Ryan Pesky was named as the primary beneficiary on 2 life insurance policies that were purchased by Melissa Pesky, one in 2003 and another one in 2008. Both policies were worth a combined $550,000, and their 2 children were added as contingent beneficiaries in 2015 to the larger of the 2 policies worth $400,000, according to the court action filed by New York Life Insurance Company. Melissa Pesky, 40, was driving on Interstate 70 near Boonville, Missouri on December 13, 2018, when she was shot and killed from outside her vehicle, the Missouri Highway Patrol said at the time. The Pesky's 2 children, then aged 11 and 5, were in the back seat but were unharmed after Pesky crashed. Yeah. So we've covered that case. If you want to go back and watch some of those, I actually interviewed somebody that had some really compelling inside information. They knew that Melissa was shot in the back, in the side of the head behind the left ear there. They also, which lines up perfectly with a car driving right up next to her and shooting through the window. She also said that Melissa told her that if she ever dies, it will be because her husband shot her. And she was scared of her husband. She was leaving her husband out of fear for her life with the kids. And on that very trip, leaving, she's then killed, driving down a highway. Now, you tell me, what are the odds of that being an accident? Or a random shooter? It's 1 in a trillion. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, I think the husband did it. Yeah, we covered this one since the beginning. So if you want to go back and type like Ray Hughes, Melissa Pesky, you can find all the different times we referred to the case. So there's that. Oh yeah. So here's what everybody needs to be doing to get over this coronavirus. All right, here we go.
And don't nobody want their child to be sick, and don't nobody want to take that virus to their house.
Parents with children at Treadwell Middle and elementary schools are not playing around. Many wiped their kids down, and some even sprayed them with disinfectant spray as they took them home Monday.
I wiped my children's backpack down when I got them out of school. Sure did. Gave them gloves. Sure did.
Parents are doing this after they found out an employee who works at Treadwell Middle and Elementary came in contact with a person who tested positive for the coronavirus in Memphis. Some took more extreme measures.
2 garbage bags. My shoes and came and loose. 2 sacks.
This is ridiculous.
Another sack.
Leaders with the Shelby County Health Department say this is not necessary because it's a very low-risk situation for students. Still, family members tell me they don't want their kids in school.
Wow.
It's messed up.
They should have put her in with the Ebola virus, man. She would have easily been protected with all this gear on.
The flu killing more folks than that is, so that's it. We're going to die anyway.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Oh. Man. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think it was the father. He didn't really care about the kids in the Melissa Pesky case, okay? Yeah. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that the friend said, was that he didn't really even like the son, and it was just the whole thing. It's just a freaking nightmare. He didn't care. Yeah, that was pretty good coverage there, didn't you think? Yeah. I think we're all stocked here. It seems like every time my wife goes out to the store, she ends up buying me more apples and more something. So it's like, and Honeycrisp apples, they must be, whatever they're doing now, they're absolutely the opposite of what they were before. If you even nicked, like 2 years ago, if you had a Honeycrisp apple and you had a feather fly out of the sky and nicked the apple, it would bruise all the way through it. Now you can punt it like a football and it's just as crisp as ever the next day. I mean, it's perfect. Yeah, no, I appreciate her buying me that all the time. Yeah, Honeycrisp apples are the best apple. It's not even really a debate. If you don't like Honeycrisp apples, it's either you thought that they were too expensive or you never had one and you just always liked the other one. As soon as you get sometimes there's a batch that isn't quite as good or whatever, but in general, man, they are just amazing. And you know what really tastes good, believe it or not, is you put honey on a plate and then you dip the Honeycrisp apple into it. Now that's some good shit right there. Yeah, if you haven't had a Honeycrisp, then as soon as you eat one of those, then the prices have gone down too, because now they're nowhere near as expensive as they used to be. Yeah, some good shit. Yeah, that's pretty good too, but try it with just some honey. Yeah, I used to eat the green apples, but I don't eat them anymore because I tried a Honey Crisp. It ruins it. It's like, you know what it's similar to? It's like going fly fishing in Montana and then going back to one of your local streams. And it's like, nah, oh God. It ruins it for all the rest of the apples. Yeah. I don't think I'd want one of those, Cairo. The Corona apples, yeah. They inject it with the virus. It's really cool. Yeah, for those that just want to catch it and get it over with. Yeah, I like the McDonald's nugget with honey. Those are good. Oh wait, you know what? I do have another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. What the hell is this one? Oh, the torso murder. It's not the Cleveland torso murder. Or maybe I can just save that for another time. It was actually like a Photos Doulos type wife, believe it or not, chucking body parts all around town. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I stumbled upon it while looking into another case, you know. Oh, I've covered up the... Hold on. There we go. Good night, Linda Howe. As in Linda Moldenhow of the cattle mutilations. There probably won't be too much more later, Linda. What time did I start this? Believe it or not. Let's see. How long have I been on? Oh, 1 hour and 58 minutes. Almost 2 hours now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You like the doggy video? I was thinking of making some more of those, but I got to get the one with Blue playing soccer. And you know what I noticed? That you can stream in 360. How is that possible? I don't know how that could be enough information to do that. Film a 360-degree show and then have it play, and then you guys could look all around while I'm live. I don't know. Yeah, see, Cairo keeps trying to sell his veganism, you know, by telling you all the delicious meals that he's able to prepare. And it's like, no, you know what I like? I just like the sausage McMuffin with egg. It's good shit, man. Yeah, it's weird that it has that 360-degree option. Yeah, what's better than a sausage McMuffin with egg? Well, a sausage McMuffin with a hash brown replacing the sausage. No, thank you. I'll just keep eating what I'm eating. It's like a carb overload at that point. See, what's cool about the sausage McMuffin with egg, it's such a perfectly balanced little meal there. It's got protein, you got your milk in there, you got your carbs. Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm replacing that sausage. I bet it is, Toy Area. I bet it is. Yeah, I used to love those McGriddles. Cairo's gonna keep trying. He tries to do with the subliminal vegan sort of sales pitch on the side. It's always just this little sort of, you're almost not paying attention. And then one day you'll go to McDonald's and say, yeah, you know what, give me the Egg McMuffin, but instead of the sausage, maybe I can just have a hash. Oh, and then all of a sudden you eat it, and then you start slowly changing. Yeah. Yeah, I like the egg white ones. Those aren't too bad. Why not do those? Yeah, some people are just predispositioned to have high cholesterol. That's just the reality of it. There's some people out there that can eat a bucket of bacon, just suck it down like, just every meal of the day is a basket of bacon, and their cholesterol won't be high. And then there's people that just have the smallest little piece and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and boom, their cholesterol's too high. It's genetic. It has nothing to do with, it has something to do with what you're eating, but there's some people, it just doesn't give them high cholesterol. So people with high cholesterol aren't people that, well, they just ate really shitty the whole time, and that's why their cholesterol is really high. Spread peanut butter on a tortilla. I hope you're talking about the flour tortilla. And apple slice, a bit of cinnamon, and drizzle honey. Roll it up and eat. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all. Yeah, but bourbon is vegan, but at the same time, you should get the low-carb bourbon. There's also a gluten-free option if you would prefer that. Nah, I didn't see that, Zelda. I'm not sure I would even repeat something like that. But I saw this one really clever idea. A roll of, it looked like toilet paper, but it was actually like crochet, like a scarf, basically. And it's just reusable, right? So you use it on yourself. And then, of course, you don't want to use it all, so there's always going to be, the room might not smell as good for a few days. But then as soon as you use up the roll, you then have to then wash it in the wash machine. Yeah. It was actually a fake, a joke meme, but it was funny. Yeah. You ever notice, like at these press conferences, everybody tries to pick out every single thing that they're doing wrong that wasn't on the CDC guidelines? You know, like when Trump shook somebody's hand, or this one lady rubbed her nose and everything. It's like, well, no, she probably washed her hands right before that. She can touch her nose after that. You know, now if she shook Trump's hand, well, here's the thing. If right before you went into a press conference, if every single person in the room that went in there washed their hands, it's okay to shake somebody's hand at that point, because they all washed their hands. And they were all tested, apparently, too. So, yeah, I guess it's not a good optic, but at the same time, yeah, no, Billy Boy Blue, yeah. That wasn't what I was saying, though. Yeah. See, yeah, it's called a presser, everybody. I missed that part. Because if I want to sound really cool and neat and in, hey, look, there's Kyron holding blue. If I want to seem really neat and in, I got to call it a presser, because, you know, have you seen the presser today? You know, it's right up there with BG, LE. Yeah, well, I called LE today, and oh, by the way, yeah, I was talking to you a minute ago. I said that I called up about those cases, and they seemed kind of interested to see. It was one of the detectives, and he said, "Yeah, well, let me get your number and everything." And no, it sounded like he was interested because they wanted to check to see, because they were interested in the connection of those two cases originally, and then later on you get a sketch that looks just like the guy that they determined to be part of the other case. And well, there's a guy that was arrested that looks like, let me start over again. There's a guy that was arrested that in one of the cases that was associated with the unsolved case, but in the unsolved case still there was some sketches made, and the guy looks identical, just a younger version. You guys have probably seen that on YouTube. Yeah, I had to start over again there. I butchered the explanation. Well, I did interview him while I was talking to him, but I'll just see how it goes after that. Oh, I don't know if we can get him on to ask questions. They're not doing that on open cases. They're not going to come on and let you ask questions. Well, it'd be cool if they remembered, because, you know, that's one of the things I could see them not remembering, because it was only in an article back then. And, you know, they might have it in their records, obviously, but maybe they just didn't see that part, and they put the DNA in, got a hit, and boom, they arrested this guy, this Reese character, but they didn't remember that back in 1993, they thought, were they related? Yeah. What's cheaper than smoking? Yeah, don't smoke. Yeah. Look, if you haven't smoked, it's not a good time to pick up vaping. Okay? Just don't do it. Vaping is probably better for people who were once smokers than smoking, but if you aren't addicted to nicotine itself isn't good for you either. So just don't do it. Yeah, don't vape or smoke if you haven't done it. But if you're a smoker, you might as well vape, because it has a little bit less carcinogens in it, right? There you go. So don't try to convince somebody to start vaping who's never smoked. I saw Patricia say, "Hey, do you think I can do it?" Come on. Right. I wouldn't mind if everybody who smoked vaped, but don't vape if you haven't smoked at all either. No, that was you. Okay. Not Patricia. Okay. Yeah, it's not something you just go, you know what, I think I'll pick up vaping. If you haven't smoked. Okay, I thought I saw Patricia say something like that. Maybe she wasn't even here. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you were here and you said it wasn't you though. Yeah, I thought you said, "Hey, can I start doing it?" But that was Shogun. Never mind. Forget it. Yeah, no, she's here. She's right there. I can read. I saw it. Yeah. I don't get it. What can you do before? Yeah. I'm just reading the comments. Hey, this is the girl that called in. I forgot her name all of a sudden, but remember? You guys probably can remember. Soda. Oh, is it Heather? Okay. No, that wasn't Sean. Heather Graham, right? That's right. Was it Heather Graham? Is that right? Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have any more stories to... I do have this one on the torso murder. But I'll just store that for another time. Yeah, why not? Gamble. Become a veggie. You got it all. Yeah, you know, listen. I'm not trying to be, but if you're somebody who smokes regularly, it's probably a good time to quit doing it. Okay? Just in general. And it does suck, you know, because believe it or not, there was a time where I chewed every once in a while when I would drink, and then after a while I would drink more because I liked the combination. Here's what's crazy. The combination of nicotine and alcohol, they had to have gotten together on that one. Because the combination of the two is just, it's like, I mean, it feels great, right? It's like this thing where, so the problem is I started to drink more because I just wanted to have to chew with the combination. But I wasn't somebody who sat around and having chews in my mouth all day long, right? This is like 10 years ago or something. And then I decided to quit, and, you know, it takes like 2 weeks until you're literally like you get over the physical kind of need for the nicotine. I didn't even realize that was something that my body was needing. And then it takes about another week or so to get over, maybe even a little bit longer, the psychological part. Like every time you have a beer after that, you're thinking, wow, I need to have a... Yeah, well, right, my brother had that, Zelda, and so, but that was just recently. And it felt really... Now, you have that psychological effect where you're like, okay, every time you have a beer, you're thinking, oh, I need to have a chew. I don't think it's I think people who chew every day, all day are more likely to get cancer than somebody drinking and chewing. I don't know why the combination you typed in has anything to do with it. But they seem like they got together to make put them together because they're perfect together. You know, that's why you see people drinking and they smoke their cigarettes. And so if you just one day say, I'm done, it sucks for like 2 weeks. Chewing has way more nicotine in it than cigarettes do. But it's the social part too. So now people who smoke, they have a bigger problem for that part of it, the habitual part of it, than people who chew, right? Because when you're a smoker, you're always used to having something in your hand. There's something you're doing. It's really, that's why vaping kind of works, right? And that's why I make that joke sometimes about somebody sitting on a park bench, and if they were just sitting on the park bench like this, you look like a psycho, right? An absolute whack job. But if you started going, looking around, hey, all of a sudden, hey, you look kind of normal. You're just some guy sitting on a bench, smoking a cigarette, taking in the scenery. But if you were sitting on that bench, just looking around, Wow. Yeah. So that's the thing. If you want to quit, it takes like 3 weeks, and you'll be done with it. It takes a little bit longer mentally, like when you have a beer, because you're thinking, "Oh, I got a cigarette would be so great." Probably, you know, I wasn't never a smoker, but you're probably thinking, "Oh, I got a cigarette would be great with this beer." And so that's the part where it's just, you know, you got to sort of burn through that. Probably a month in, you're done. Yeah, I called him the other day. Yeah, I didn't hear back from him. The Dolby one, yeah. Yeah, I know what case it is, VP. I just looked it up again today. I was looking at it. Yeah, I called about that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I'd like, you know, I want to figure out if they've done some of those testing. I'm sure they have. They had to have done that. I'm sure it's a case that they've wanted solved. I don't know. It'd be cool if it gets solved and we were talking about it before it was solved. Just to be like, oh yeah, awesome. Well, it's always good to have you here, Lanky Tor, every time. You told them to shit up? Wow. Did they just start pooping all over the place, Shogun? Good night. Oh my God, snakes. Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that's it for me, everybody, tonight. Where should we do a flyby? Hey, shit up, man. Maybe that needs to be a new emoji right there. There it is. Shit up. Oh, come on, shit up. I like it, man. Yeah, where are we going to do the flyby? In, yeah. Alright, so it's going to take me a minute to go through this. This crazy stuff going on. Hey, and if you're not a channel member and you want to be one and think you can afford it during this time, or even if you want to remove yourself as one if you can't afford it at this time, that's cool, because you know, right now we're at two people remove themselves, and I think that's okay. I don't have any ill will or anything. I think I was just saying that the economy is, you know, if it's something you need to do it. No, that was the concurrent viewers. I'm sorry, we had almost the same number. Yeah, so thank you to Daniel Gosen, Cairo, Kit Kat, Billy Boy Blue, Kristen Cure, Mandy W, Lanky Tor, Miss Incredible, Sherlock Hemlock, Paisley Dreams, Chuck Sims, Kevin Brown, Jennifer Cochran Fent, Amy Higg, Wombat Dundee, Billy Boy Blue, he needed the money. Patricia M, Mel Ransom, Lane S, Linda Howell, Shogun Love, Joan Milano, Jessica Schubach, Cairo, Tisha Renee, Nicole Kyle. See, I tell you, this is huge. Billy Boy Blue, Quietly Observing. Hey, thanks, VP. Quietly Observing. Curious Georgia, Patricia M, Miss Giss, Shazzy D, Raven 187, Chuck Sims, Marion Ward, Biker Beast, Delusional Lucidity, Trace Elements 13, Ashleela Smith, Saturn 9, Shogun Love, Barbara Smith again, Cairo, Billy Boy Blue, he needed the money, Zelda, Linda Howell, Zelda again, and right then, VP, the new member. So thank you guys very much. I'm going to be able to make that bigger donation at the end of the month again. Building up to that. Cairo, the vegetarian. Make sure you get the Egg McMuffin without the actual meat in there. Just put a hash brown inside. Thank you, Cairo and Dadio, Caspian Horses Rock.
Here's another name to say, you're gonna be here all night.
Here's another name to say, you're gonna, yeah, I know, exactly. Oh yeah, that's right. There was one from Dixie. Thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't reread the. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, you know what kind of sucks is I have to pay. There's this Portland art tax you have to pay. It's $35 a piece for what? What am I getting from it? I don't. I'm not going downtown, schmoozing at the museums or anything. Oh, well, thanks, Lanky Tor. I hope you guys have a good time just hanging out. I know tonight was sort of all over the place, but a lot of stuff going on. But again, make sure you stay inside your homes whenever you can for, the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. They'll let you know actually when you might be able to come back out again, but grocery stores will still be open for you. Man, you guys are so nice.
You truly make life better. We appreciate you.
And thanks Mel Ransom and Lanky Tor. Oh, and Miss Skiss again. Wow. I know, it's crazy. What's the deal with that thing? And then the IRS called me, sent me a letter, and I had to call in and do verify me. Like, what changed? They've been doing the same thing over and over again.
Night, everyone. Stay safe. Glowing star kiss mark. Glowing star kiss mark.
Kiss mark? Kiss mark? It's just lips, okay? Lanky Tour and Miss Skid. Oh, okay. Come here, Blue. Come here, buddy. Yeah, come here, buddy. There he is. Hey, how's it going, everybody? You alright, Kyron? Oh, I said Cairo. I was thinking of letting you wave the Cairo. You know what's weird is he, Here, wave to the Cairo, look. He sort of looked like he wasn't feeling good right there when I picked him up. But he's been playing all day, so I think he's alright.
Can we see Blue at least?
And right now she's looking at... That just shows you the orientation's messed up. She's looking right at me right now. She's about ready to fall asleep. Look at that. God, he's gonna fall asleep sitting up. Look at that. Are you gonna fall asleep? Look at it.
Your show saved my life, Grey Hughes. You are the best.
Oh yeah? What do you mean? What I do? Hey, Chloe. She's crazy. Yeah, she's all over the place. Yeah, he's just always... well, the thing is she doesn't let Blue have many moments of just peace. When the sun comes out during the day, I make sure that the sun hits it's on the floor, so I move the bed into the sun, and they're out cold in 2 minutes. They love it there. Yeah, what's going on, Shogun? Oh, good. Yeah, that's right. No time to be depressed and sad. You know, there's stuff that bothers me all the time. I mean, there's stuff that, you know, like sometimes I've posted things like that in the community section for the channel members, like, hey, what's going on here? You know, you guys always help me out there, so thank all of you too. This has probably been the most positive chat night I've ever seen. I mean, it's just been cool, you know, the whole way through. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Maybe I'll fly around at Yellowstone. Yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. Yellowstone is looking pretty good. Oh. Yes, everybody, be safe. Wash your hands. Stay away from crowds. So many trees. It's crazy. That's actually what it looks like. Isn't that weird? One more time. But that was like a lava probably came out of here at one point. Hey, thank you guys very much for the generous freak night. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate it. Should make the get us on the way. We're getting, you know, it's the money raiser in the month. I would be amazing if at some point we could even just keep donating these massive amounts of money to different organizations. You know, but it all comes down to you know, this isn't really the greatest time in the world for that, but I appreciate you guys being so supportive of the channel. It's amazing. Amazing. So, everybody, make sure that you stay safe. You know, just avoid large crowds. You know, go to the grocery store when, you know, try to maintain your safe distance from them. You know, don't go walking behind some little 4-year-old toddler with this sniffling all over the place. You know, just be careful, especially if you're older. You know, make sure that you're try to avoid being around people as much as possible, and then we'll get through this sometime in the future coming up. I don't know exactly when, but it's definitely you can minimize the damage if everybody follows what the CDC is saying. All right, everybody. So that is it for the show tonight. I really appreciate you guys. You know, it is. It's like the freak family. All right. We will get through this. We will get through this. All right. And that is it. So thank you for showing up tonight. There we go, coffee. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. 2 or 3, 4. Yes, make sure you're safe, everybody. Yes, I'm still here. Yep, that's right. Have a great night, everybody.